Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have something for you. This book. And so many coders recommend this book. I also have one copy for myself. And when I read this book, I found it amazing. It does not only have the coding part, but it has much more than that. So the one section that I want to share with you all today is this one, the interview process. In that section, Gail, the author of this book, has unfolded many secrets related to the interview process as well as the interviewer's mindset. Myself, even after having 7 years of experience, found that I had so many misconceptions related to the interview process that got cleared by reading this book. And I found it so good and so relevant that I decided to share it with you guys. Welcome to series 1 of Cracking the Coding Interview discussions. First thing we will see is unfolding our general doubts, like what are the actual parameters that the interviewer consider while making assessment of our performance. Many good and deserving candidates actually lose because of this way of assessment. So why this way of assessment? That we will see in the second part. Third part is very important. That is, false positives are not acceptable to company. So they are okay if they lose some of the good candidate. Yes, I am repeating again. They are okay losing some of the good candidate, but they are not okay with hiring the bad one. We will see how important and valuable is the problem solving skill. Interviews are mostly about the data structure. So in this section, we will see why data structure is so much relevant. In the code in the whiteboard does not even compile. Then why this way of assessment? That we will see in the sixth section. We keep on searching on the previous year's questions. So how relevant are those previous year questions of Amazon, Google, or any other company? That secret will be unfolded in this section. And next is on what criteria a candidate selection happen. Do they have any grading system, or how do they decide that I was worth for that role or not? How that selection process happen? So that part Gail has unfolded, and we will see that in section 8. You have to stay till the end to know each and everything. Stick to this video till the end because each and every topic is very relevant. You will find that much of your doubt regarding the interview process are now cleared, and you are prepared in a more better way for your upcoming interview. So are you excited? Let's see. The first doubt that we all have: on what parameter interviewer make assessment of my performance? So the first parameter is analytical skill. Means when any problem was given to you, how much help you needed to solve it? How many times you asked interviewer for the help? Next thing that they see is the solution that you have provided is optimal or not. How long you took to come at that solution, and did you think through the trade-off of different decisions? The good analytical skill is what they are looking for. The next very important skill, without that you cannot crack the coding interview, is the coding skill. So a problem is given to you, and are you able to translate that problem into a reasonable code? Do the code that you write is a clean and organized code? Did you think of all the possible error scenarios? And did you use the good coding style? All these things as part of coding skill, the interviewers want to see in you. So they want to see you having a good foundation in computer science and relevant technologies. They are hiring an experienced candidate. They want to see that if that candidate has made any good decision in the past. Have they built any interesting and challenging project or not? And do they show the drive and initiative toward the project and the company? And many other important factors. This culture fit and communication skill. Are you able to communicate properly with the interviewer? And does the interviewer think that you are good fit for his team as well as the company? So that culture fit is also very important and is looked upon. So author says that many of us don't like this way of assessment. After all, many great candidates, those who have very good technical knowledge, will do not do well in this kind of interview. And obviously, whenever required, you can look into the Google to find the answer. And the tough data structures that are asked in the interview, we rarely use them. And if we need to use them, we can surely learn it. And also this whiteboard coding style. Who codes in the whiteboard? Does it compiles? Obviously no. Then why they ask us to code in the whiteboard? She says that we may not agree or support this way of interview process, but understanding why it is this way may help us offer an insight into the interviewer's mindset. So in the subsequent points, we will understand why that way, and that will in the process uncover the mindset of the interviewer. And we do want to understand their mindsets. In this point, author says that in companies, false negatives are acceptable. Sad, but true. It is acceptable for the companies to lose some of the great candidates because company may find it very expensive if they hire a bad candidate. So bad candidate here means if any candidate for that position performs very well in the interview, but once he gets selected in the actual work, he is not that good. That is what company is more concerned with. So they prefer to keep hunting and wait till they find a good one, and instead of selecting a wrong candidate for that position. So author says, if you are able to work through some hard problem, perhaps with some help, then you are pretty good at developing optimal algorithm. You are smart. Smart people tend to do good thing, and smart people are valuable to the company. It's not the only thing that matters, but of course, it's really a good thing. So problem solving skill is very valuable for a company. There are many arguments that support why data structure knowledge is needed. He says, of course, we can learn whenever it is needed. And when a problem comes to you and you don't understand data structure, how would you decide that which data structure you should apply in that particular scenario, right? True, right? So data structure knowledge is needed. Secondly, many interviewers would argue that the good software developer must have the basic knowledge of the data structure. It shows that that person has really invested his time in understanding and deep diving into the computer science concept. Interviewers would also argue that almost all the problem solving questions involve some form of data structure. So how can they ask those problem solving questions without the data structure knowledge? And when enough candidates have the knowledge of the data structure, at least basics, it is easy for them to ask the relevant question to them and assess them accordingly. So many big companies are now moving into the whiteboard model of coding. Then you use the whiteboard, you are able to focus on the bigger picture. Here the bigger picture means the function that has the relevant meaty part that is related to the question that is asked to you. That means you don't have to write the entire class, don't need to include all the relevant header, and you don't have to compile the codes. So the only focus will be on writing the function that provides the solution of the question that is asked to you. When a candidate codes in the whiteboard, he is able to communicate more with the interviewer. He can speak out loud his way of thinking and discuss his approach to the interviewer. Instead, if coding console is provided to him, then he has to make sure that he maintains all the syntax properly, he writes all the classes, includes all the header, and take care of even minute things. So by that way, the communication drops significantly between the interviewer and the candidate. Comes the most important question that comes to our mind, and that is, how do interview questions are prepared? We generally, for any company's interview, we generally look into the previously asked question. But she says it's a fundamental misunderstanding that a previously asked question is of any relevance, because at many companies there is actually no list of what the interviewer should ask. Yes, there are some broad differences across companies. Like, few companies ask question based on the data structure knowledge, while other companies really focus on the knowledge based question. But within a given category, there is a little that makes it belong to one company instead of other. It just means that a person who at that point of time worked at Google happened to take an interview and happened to ask a particular question. That does not make that question as a Google interview question. So it is basically problem solving or data structure questions. And also the question that is asked in Google is not much different from the question that is asked in Amazon or Facebook. So now that we know how interview questions are prepared, the next important question that comes to our mind is how the candidate selection happens. So that part is also unfolded, and many misunderstandings have got cleared in this book, and I am going to share them with you. So, on what criteria candidate selection happened? Gail, the author of this book, says it's all relative. There is no grading system to evaluate your performance. Okay, then how do interviewer knows what to expect from you? So interviewer actually assess your performance relative to the other candidate on the same question by the same interviewer. So it is mostly a relative comparison, comparing you with the other candidate that he has interviewed. And it is not the comparison with the candidate that she has interviewed last week. It is about all the candidates that she has interviewed in her tenure till now. Then you may say that if it is a relative thing, then it may involve a luck factor. Like a person may happen to be more lucky to answer a question than the other candidate. Yeah, she says that so for that purpose, multiple questions are asked to avoid the luck factor for a particular candidate. So next time if you are given a tough question in the interview, don't get afraid. Don't get afraid. That question is not tough for you. That is tough for everyone. So again, the analysis of how you handled it is relative. Now let's see the different frequently asked questions. So if you have given an interview and you don't hear immediately from the interviewer, it does not mean that you are rejected. There are numerous reasons why company's decision might get delayed. Maybe the interviewer who has taken your interview has not yet given the feedback of your interview, right? That is also one reason. So, like, very few company have the policy of not responding back to the candidate if they are rejected. So you can wait, and after 3 to 5 business days, if you still don't receive the call from the interviewer, then you can politely get in touch with the recruiter and ask your status. Another important question that she covers is, can I reapply to company after getting rejected? So what do you think? We all sometimes think that I have got rejection mail from that company. Should I apply again? Can I try again, or should I give up? So author has said that yes, almost always. There are many candidates who got selection in companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon after getting numerous number of rejections. So let's recap on all the points that we covered on this video. So the first point was on what parameter interviewer make assessment of your performance. Do you remember? Analytical skills, optimal solution you can provide with little help. Coding skill, are you able to translate the algorithm to reasonable code? Technical knowledge, strong technical and computer science fundamental. For experienced candidate, they look for strong drive and initiative. Then other important thing that they look for is culture fit and communication skill. And why this way of assessment? Because they don't want to hire the false positives. False positive means the candidate who are not suitable for that role but are able to crack the interview. Value of problem solving skill, that if you are a good problem solver, then you are pretty good at developing optimal algorithm. You are smart, and companies require smart people. Basic data structure knowledge is helpful, because if you don't know data structure concept, you will not be able to decide which data structure to apply in what problem. Coding on whiteboard versus console. Why coding on whiteboard was important? Because it helps you to focus more on the bigger picture, and it also encourages communication with your interviewer. Then how interview questions are prepared? So all the interviewers are free to decide their own interview question. There is some broad category like algorithm based interview question and then knowledge based interview question. On what criteria candidate selection happen? It is all relative, and it depends on all the candidate that the interviewer has interviewed on the same question. I hope that you find this video relevant. If you like it, please like and subscribe to this channel and stay connected. Bye bye.